What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Master's Degree right here on the No Holds Bar Network, your source for all wrestling podcast content and more. I'm your host and owner of the CEO of the No Holds Bar Network, your self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters. And no, I'm not joined by anyone here on the podcast. That's right, because this is my solo show, the Master's Degree, guys, where myself, Kyle Masters, talks about any trending thing going on in the wrestling world, whether it be WWE, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, anything that's going on that's trending right now in the wrestling world. I will give you my 2 cents and my, I guess, quote-unquote expert analysis on what I think about the situation. I got a few things to talk about today. Guys, if you're new here, welcome to the No Holds Bar Network. This is one of the many podcasts on this platform. We have podcasts that has to do with NXT. We have podcasts that have to do with AEW, the indie world, wrestling interviews, all that fun stuff right here on the No Holds Bar Network. So make sure you are following the No Holds Bar Network on Twitter, and that is at NHBN or NHB Network. And while you're at it, follow myself at Real Kyle Masters. You can find me on there for all my opinions about stuff. I don't really tweet my opinions. Kind of keep them to myself. Like I know a lot of people love tweeting their stuff on Twitter. And, I'm not really criticizing you for that. You guys, that's what Twitter is, just for you to tweet out your thoughts about stuff. It's mostly the negativity that's not needed. I don't like about Twitter, and like what I find with people tweeting and the threads that are really unnecessary or parts of stuff I don't like about Twitter. I don't really get in on that. It's not really my forte, I guess you can say. Actually didn't mean to rhyme there. Not sure why I did. Anyways, I tweet once in a while with my Twitter account, but just mainly wanted to go into it like a podcast form to kind of vent out my opinions on stuff. You can choose to agree with me if you want. You don't have to. You can let me know if you don't agree with stuff. I'm open to anything, so hit me up in the comments on YouTube. Tweet at me at Real Kyle Masters, wherever you need to get at me. Let me know what your thoughts are in certain situations. I'd love to talk wrestling with anybody who comments or just sends me a message or even comments on YouTube. I'm free to talk about anything. So hit me up. Don't be shy. Today in the docket, what do we got here? We'll talk about AEW first. My boys, AEW. One thing I want to go over is speaking of Twitter, is like, I know this is late, but the Young Bucks quitting Twitter. I believe it was Nick, or what was it, Matt? One of the brothers quit Twitter. The one stayed. Basically, the sum up the story. I'm not going to sit here and read you guys the entire story. It's, that's boring. Everyone knows what's going on since then. There was a lot of negativity being sent towards them, and I guess this has probably been accumulating. And it has been. I've seen the hate on Twitter for when AEW first started. People are all very, very highly critical, like they always are on Twitter, and it gets to a person. It's mentally abusive sometimes because some people are just absolutely ruthless on Twitter. And I can understand if it was Matt or Nick, where they came from in wanting to leave Twitter, because I think it all came to a boil when there's that spot on Dynamite where the Creeper was, quote unquote, punching Dustin Rhodes and clearly missing. It was a horrible situation when the camera just caught the moment off guard, and you know what I mean? Like, this stuff happens in wrestling. I don't know why people were too harsh on AEW. There was reasons to be harsh, but people were acting like this doesn't happen at all in wrestling, and there's been so many botches, the same or even different and worse botches in other companies where it wasn't blown up that much as people are trying to do with this situation. It's a shame that there's that much jealousy out there because of it. Like, AEW is not trying to take down the WWE. I don't know why people are thinking that. They're just trying to be an alternative and being a highly touted wrestling company. So I understand where the Jacksons are coming from. I'm pretty sure they both feel the same in this situation, and I'll just give my stance on that, saying good for them. Do what you got to do. They pretty sure they came out and said that they still want to interact with the fans. They still want fans to reach out to them whenever they want. So I'm glad they kind of I remember they sent a picture with a paragraph of their outlook on the situation. So I'm glad that they come out and did that, and that they are still telling the fans, don't be shy, still go up to them, interact with them. They're not getting rid of Twitter to have the fans to stop talking to them. So I'm glad, and I approve what they're doing, and I'm all for what they're doing. If you need to step away from Twitter, you need to leave Twitter for good because of the very negative part of it that comes from it, especially in the wrestling community. It's all right. I agree with what they did there. Next with AEW, I kind of wrote it down before it actually happened, but I kind of want to touch base on it, and that was the whole thing with Taz, and there was a bunch of rumors of a commissioner role coming to AEW. I brought this up on the All Elite podcast. I don't think AEW needs a commissioner. Taz, I can't see Taz being a commissioner. I don't know about you guys, but I cannot see Taz as in a commissioner role. I know it'd be different. Maybe it's something he'd want to try, but I'm glad we didn't get that. We had him on commentary for Dynamite this week, and I'm happy we got what we got. Guy still has it on commentary. He hasn't missed a beat, I guess you can say. And I'm glad with what we got with Taz this week. As for the commissioner role, I don't think in general they need a commissioner role right now. I think what they're doing right now works. Maybe later down the line, if it warrants it, I may be okay with it depending on who the commissioner is and what they actually do. It would have to be different. You know what I mean? They can't go in the same generic formula as other companies have done with a commissioner role. It's got to be different. It's got to be something that is labeled of what they're promoting, and it has to be an alternative. It's got to be something different that we haven't seen with a commissioner type role. I think right now, as it stands, we don't need it. I've kind of had like back thoughts of maybe if Tony Khan would ever want to get inside the business, which I don't think he does. I think he'd be a cool commissioner kind of thing for a bit. So I don't know. We'll see. But they can't follow the same formula. I guess I take back what I just said there because Vince has kind of played that kind of role on TV before. So, you know what? Right now, I'll just give my opinion as it stands. Right now, I don't think they do. I think AEW is fine without a commissioner, and we don't need one. They really don't. They're doing fine on their own. As for Vince in the WWE, might as well transition it here to the WWE portion. I found an article, and you know what? I it's not like I don't really hate the WWE. I just hate the direction that they've gone in, and that's what drove me to AEW and stop watching the current product on WWE. Now, it is going to come down to when Vince leaves, we're going to see a different product. I can guarantee you that. If you don't agree, you'll see when the time comes. I'm guaranteeing you right now, once Vince McMahon steps away, which I don't think will be ever, the WWE product will change. With him currently still being there and still the decision is always going to come down to him, things won't change, and I don't think the product will ever get better. And if you're a fan of the current product, that's fine. That's your opinion. My opinion is I do not like the current product. I think it's gotten worse since the last time I've watched. And it goes down to Vince McMahon and who he thinks is a top star and what he thinks is a top star and the mentality he currently has that doesn't work. And after finding this article, I can tell you right now that that theory and that thought has not gone anywhere. So I found this article where it says 3 superstars that are getting big pushes and Vince McMahon is in love with one of them. Not figuratively, guys. Like, come on, let's relax a little bit here. I guess Eric Rowan is a person that has received a good push. We've seen that, I guess, on Monday Night Raw, or you guys have seen that. I've kind of like watched a little bit of highlights here and there. But I guess the Wrestling Observer newsletter is saying that Rowan is one of the 3 superstars who is getting a push in a big way soon. And the good news is for Rowan is that Vince McMahon is in his corner, and Vince is in favor of shooting him way up the ladder. And this goes back to the beginning. What I'm trying to say, guys, is his mentality of the big wrestler is still there, and he will always push the bigger wrestler that not necessarily needs a big push as the one Rowan is about to get over people who deserve that kind of push. I hope you guys can understand what I'm trying to say here. Is Vince McMahon is always stuck in that mentality of you have to have big wrestlers on top, and it's always got to be the bigger people. And I guess people can argue and say, well, no, AJ Styles and people like him and Daniel Bryan, yada, yada, yada. But you can see here, there's guys like that, like AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan, that are in the company that are newer or have been around for a while. Why aren't they getting that push that Eric Rowan is about to get? Why isn't Vince McMahon high on them? If Vince McMahon is high on them, they will transcend higher than they already are. Like, if Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles transcend higher than they already are, then Vince won't be sitting there worried about making newer stars or claiming that WWE doesn't have any big stars like The Rock and Stone Cold and Hogan anymore, or John Cena. It's because he's pushing the wrong people at the wrong times. Like right now, there should be more people being pushed for this push that Eric Rowan is about to get, but he won't because he's stuck in that mentality of him thinking that Eric Rowan deserves a big push for whatever reason. And it's because it's the big guy mentality. And it stinks. It really does stink. It's literally one of the 800,000 reasons why I stopped watching the WWE product. So that Wrestling Observer also reported that WWE is planning to push Rowan alongside Drew McIntyre, which I can kind of get behind Drew McIntyre. I like his work for a big guy. And the other one is Aleister Black. Now, out of the three, I think Aleister Black should be getting the Rowan push out of the three, 100%. Aleister Black is way too good for what they've been doing with him on TV. You look at the difference. It's night and day between what Aleister Black has done on NXT TV for the short time he was there to what he's doing on the main roster. I don't understand it. Aleister Black is a star. His gimmick works. He's a fantastic wrestler. He's probably one of the top 20 wrestlers in the company right now. And I have to say top 20 because there's so many damn people in the WWE. That's one of the other problems. But anyways, that's a different story. It's a story for another day. But Rowan shouldn't be getting that push out of the three. It should be Aleister Black. Aleister Black should be pushed high on Vince's radar and could be a mega star. And I don't understand why he's choosing Rowan out of the size. And it's the kind of superstar that Vince McMahon likes. The long beard, the violent nature, the big, true monsters. Like, he's got to get out of that mentality or else the WWE guys will not change. And for those people who are still clinging on and wondering why it's not going to change, I'm telling you right now, it's Vince McMahon. He's stuck in that mentality, and I pray for you that it does change for you and it does get better. But as of right now, it's not going to change ever. And with that article, and it probably coming to fruition eventually, we'll have to see on WWE TV. Things always change in the WWE. If Eric Rowan is getting that push out of the big three, I pray for Aleister Black in that situation. Okay, so I guess we can stay on the WWE train here. And I gotta talk about this. It's the most recent trending thing happening. And this is this whole Lashley and Lana. Guys, I'm sorry. It's absolute trash. I cannot get behind it. I tried. Believe me, I haven't said this out loud or to the public. I've tried to give it a chance. I've watched the highlight videos on it, on this whole storyline, and I've tried to give it its due diligence because it's edgier TV, and that was one of the things I was looking for back when I stopped watching. I was looking for a little bit of more edgier TV because it was boring. The product was stale when I first left. So I tried to give it a chance, and ever since the beginning, it's been horrible. It's been toilet humor nonsense, and I cannot get behind it. And what they've done now, adding Liv Morgan, is the worst idea I could have ever seen and dream of them doing with this storyline. Are you kidding me what they did with Liv Morgan? After building her for weeks of a different character and her tweeting months ago that she's going to reinvent herself, how do you do all of that to make her be an on-screen lesbian angle with Lana? Okay, guys, there's a difference between edgy TV and this. There's edgy television, then there's 50 Feet of Crap, and then there's this storyline. And yes, I just stole a line from the Moneyball, the movie, if you guys know, and if you already knew what I was talking about, you know what I'm talking about in terms of this storyline. It's horrible. It's absolutely trash. I don't care if you like this, guys. It's absolutely trash. I cannot see why anybody would like this. Like, aren't they supposed to be listening to the fans? Isn't that the big thing with WWE now, that they're going to listen to the fans? They're going to give us what we want. That was like a year ago. They had that big thing in the ring with Vince, Triple H, Shane, and Stephanie. Like, you guys are the authority. Yeah, it really showed, didn't it? Anyways, getting a little bit off topic there, but I've seen no positive comments about this either. I literally have not. I maybe seen one, like, I'd say an 0.5% I've seen like this actual storyline. And All you have to do, WWE, is go to your comment section every time you post about it and see it's literally 95 or 98% filled with negativity. How is someone not looking from the creative team, not looking at this and going, oh, guys, maybe we shouldn't do this because the fans don't like it? Then it comes down to it, guys. Half of them do not care what we think. And then it comes down to what Vince McMahon wants, and he couldn't give two shits what anybody thinks. And that's the truth, because if they did, they would see the negativity that fills those comment sections and say, okay, maybe we should stop doing this because nobody is actually paying attention. And if you want proof, go back and watch that whole segment with the whole wedding thing. You could hear a pin drop in that arena when stuff was announced, like when Liv Morgan revealed, like it was dead quiet. People were like, what in the actual hell are we watching? It was just awkward. And it's a very awkward reveal of Liv being a lesbian with the current stars right now that are actually a lesbian in real life. Like we had Sonya Deville awkwardly tweet after. I don't know if that was part of storyline or if that was actually her thoughts, but she was very weirded out with her tweet about it. And I can, and if she is, and that's the truth, I can understand where she's coming from. That's just very, very awkward. I don't know. It's not my place to say, obviously. I don't want to step on anyone's toes here that actually are. I apologize if that sounds weird or anything. I felt awkward. Like it just, I don't know. To me, it was very, very awkward. And with those tweets that were sent out even by Mandy Rose too, it just, I don't know. I don't understand this situation. I don't know why they went this way. I kind of feel bad for Liv Morgan too, because I don't think this was what she planned on doing. Like, how do you have her revamp to this? How is this a revamp of her character? Unless there's bigger things at play here that we don't know, I don't understand why this was a decision that was made. It was piss poor. This was Vince Russo written garbage. It's just bad. It's trash, and it's a shame that it's on TV for you guys that watch Raw weekly. I feel bad for you guys that have to induce that and not get actual wrestling on TV. Why does Liv Morgan come back as like a serious female wrestler that wants to improve her craft in the ring? I think a lot of people can get behind that. I don't get it. I really don't get it. You know what? That's all I'm going to say about that. And speaking of awkward, might as well touch base on this too really quickly here. I'm not going to say too much on it. That's the whole Lars Sullivan thing. There's a leaked video released that he was in adult videos in the past. I mean, it doesn't actually matter what he did in the past, especially something like that. But of course, Twitter's going to blow it up because it's the worst social media platform for that to go and get trending on. My stance on it, guys, I do not care. I really do not care. Like, screw it. Everyone has done stuff in the past they're not proud of. I don't know if Lars is proud of this or not. We don't know. We don't know what his situation even was back then, nor should we judge him for doing this. Who cares? Move on. It's a thing in the past. Why people keep... Like, how do you think he feels about it? What if he doesn't like it and we're blowing it up and if people are, like, judging him for it? It's like, really? No one has a place to judge him for what he did. Okay? The adult industry is a normal thing. It's not like this is a new thing. People act like this is like a new thing. Oh, adult videos. Oh. Like, give me a break. Give me a break. And those same people are the same people who are accepting what's going on TV with the Liv Morgan situation, by the way. Like, give me a break. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm going to leave it there, and we'll just move on from that. All right, so let's move on to New Japan. I got some New Japan stuff here for us, guys. With the big Wrestle Kingdom 14 weekend coming up, I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see Jericho there. I'm excited for just the whole weekend in general. Not even just Jericho. I love Wrestle Kingdom. I like watching it back. It's good stuff. It's good shit. Some news I want to touch base on that I seen a while back. I know it's a little bit old now, but New Japan Pro Wrestling is not to broadcast in the U.S. in 2020 anymore on AXS. So over the past few years, New Japan Pro Wrestling has done whatever it takes to expand in the United States. I'm reading from an article here, if you didn't know. From big events to enhancing its dojo to company looking to become one of the top promotions in the world, there appears to be a blockade in their way with the form of AXS. The company announced via Twitter that AXS will not be providing New Japan Pro Wrestling broadcasts in the United States in 2020. Quote, in response to U.S. fan inquiries, there are currently no plans to TV broadcast New Japan Pro Wrestling events in 2020. This includes Wrestle Kingdom 14, which kind of sucks for people who are were relying on that. It says, thank you for joining us on TV so far. We invite you to join New Japan World for all the reaction in 2020, live and in English. So maybe this is a tactical move for New Japan Pro Wrestling to have more subscribers. Who knows? The relationship between AXS and New Japan Pro Wrestling have been rocky ever since Anthem Sports and Entertainment, the parent company of Impact Wrestling, announced the acquired of a majority interest to AXS TV. AXS TV has been New Japan Pro Wrestling's broadcast partner since 2014, and the deal between the two is set to expire January 2021, according to a previous version of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Recently, a number of AXS TV members were laid off, including Adam Swift, the former vice president of legal affairs, that helped New Japan land that deal with AXS. It's weird. It's weird timing, obviously, with the Wrestle Kingdom 14 thing coming up too. And I know if people were relying on that happening, it does suck for those people. It does suck for those people, and I feel for them. And it seems to me like it's more of like a relationship thing that went bad. But I guess New Japan could look at it on a plus side. They could maybe start heavily promoting their New Japan World and getting more subscribers on that train. So, it could be a lose-win situation here for New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, and it sucks for AXS to ruin a relationship like that because New Japan's content is really good. I don't understand why they would try to ruin that kind of relationship. So, for what the outside looking in, it's what it looks like. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes, but that's just my take on that. And speaking of New Japan Pro Wrestling, maybe there's going to be some relationship building with AEW. I don't know, but we had some seeds kind of planted with the whole Jericho and Hiroshi Tanahashi challenge. Tanahashi recently said that since Jericho is Le Champion AEW, he might just beat Y2J at Wrestle Kingdom and open the forbidden door to AEW to challenge him for that title. Jericho recently sent out a message to Tanahashi that he's more than welcome to come to AEW and face Le Champion if he wants to. He has to beat Y2J at Wrestle Kingdom first. So fans might actually get really excited about this one because let's say Jericho does lose at New Japan Pro Wrestling. Is this a seed to plant for a super card type of show between AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling? That would be awesome. That would be sweet. I'm sure everyone and their stepmother would be happy about a relationship between AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling. It would set up for maybe a once-a-year kind of supercard like the thing they did with Ring of Honor. I would be open to that. You can have a Tanahashi-Jericho match for the AEW title on AEW TV. That would be awesome. You just think about other matches like a Kota Ibushi versus, the top of my head, Kenny Omega or Hangman Page or Pac. Or there's a bunch of people that they could be facing in AEW that we can have like a cross-promotion type of pay-per-view with matches like that. So hopefully this is the seeds that were planted with the whole Tanahashi-Jericho thing. I'm going to be excited to watch that match. And I know a lot of AEW fans are going to be glued to that match. This is why I say maybe this is a tactic for a future relationship with the two companies, because this is also going to draw in fans to watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, like the AEW fans to watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, because they want to know if Tanahashi is going to beat Jericho and if Tanahashi is going to come into AEW to face Jericho for that championship. So both companies are winning here in this situation. So that's why I think this is probably is going to be the seeds planted, and we'll see what happens after Wrestle Kingdom. Now, as for the others that are already in AEW with the... Oh, I hope everyone didn't hear that. My computer just kind of notified me on something. But as for the relationship with the others that used to be there, like the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, I heard there was some slightly bad blood between the two companies. The way they left, I think Kenny didn't leave on good terms. Same with the Young Bucks. They kind of felt like it was the same way Ring of Honor treated them. I don't know if they've built on that relationship since then, if they've talked to people there and they kind of resolved everything, because I don't know if they would go, if this is going to be a seed planted and they're going to have a relationship with New Japan Pro Wrestling, I don't know if Tony Khan would allow Jericho to go over there and do that kind of challenge where if Tanahashi won, then Jericho would have to, Tanahashi would be coming over to AEW. So I think I'd assume by now that relationship is, built back to them being on good terms or business terms, like business relationship kind of terms. I'd hope so. Let's hope so for the sake of getting a super awesome wrestling show once a year between AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Let's hope it is, and we'll see what happens after Wrestle Kingdom. I'm excited for that, and I'm excited for more news to come out of that if it's true. Other than that, guys, that's probably going to do it. I don't have anything much else here. Hopefully some more trending stuff happens in the next couple of weeks for me to get another episode to you guys. It's been a short episode this week, about 25 minutes long, but hey, that's what happens with these episodes. If there's not a lot of stuff to talk about, they're probably going to be short. If there's a lot, they're probably going to be long. We'll see. I've been thinking about going to video format. I'll keep you guys updated with that. I might be doing it live on YouTube. We'll see. Maybe if not, I'll just do live here on Spreaker. So thank you guys for listening back on here for the Master's Degree. I'm your host, as always, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters. And that's going to do it, guys. Make sure you're following the No Holds Barred Network, your source for all wrestling podcast content on Twitter, at NHB Network, and follow myself at Real Kyle Masters. I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day, and have a good rest of your week, and I'll see you guys next time.
Surface feels more like a dream.